Alrighty, so part 3 of how to paint like Georgia O'Keeffe using watercolours. So in this video it's just going to be mostly a time lapse of me finishing the actual piece. We've already covered how to draw in a grid and how to paint using the wet on wet technique. That's pretty much it, to be honest, other than a few colour mixing techniques and things which I may do a video on later. I'm just going to talk over what's happening in the video at the time. So what's happened so far is if I've created a wash, a base layer of the lily. It's like a pale yellowy creamy sort of magnolia colour, so I applied that colour to the entire flower using the same wet on wet technique. Then here right now I'm doing a second layer of a darker version of that tone. How do we make a darker version of that tone? We add the contrasting colours. So I added a touch of blue, a touch of red into that magnolia colour, which sort of made a more neutral, darker version of it. And then I've gone around one square at a time and I've applied that darker tone in those areas that look like they needed it in relation to the photograph. Now I apologise, the painting does go a little bit out of shot as I turn and twist the paper around, but the reason why I'm doing this is because, well, I'm obviously left-handed, and a lot of the contours of the flower, okay, the lines within the flower, they are curved. So I've rotated the page to match the curvature of my brush stroke, so my left wrist brush stroke, such that it doesn't look flat if I painted it in the opposite direction. It makes sense if you've studied contour lines or you know how to shade around contour lines. It's the same principle. So look at the flower, look at the petals, look at the main lines that build up the flower head itself, okay, and allow those lines to direct the flow of your brush strokes. If you follow those lines, your flower will look more voluptuous, it will look more natural, it will look more dynamic, okay. So I did a couple of washes and then I started to add a layer of green, some slightly darker brownish tones in there too. I'm using exactly the same technique as on the background, okay, so applying the paint with one brush and then switching to the damp brush, keep tapping off the excess water on the newspaper and then pushing that pigment around, moving the pigment around, having absolute control of where that colour is going. Okay, it's very difficult to do, and it's, you know, it'll take a lot of discipline and a lot of concentration, but it's worth it in the end. And once I got to the stage where I was happy with the flower, or mostly happy with the flower, I've had enough layers on there, I've gone and applied washes of green, okay, green to the leaf around the outside. Again, I looked at the photograph, I looked at the paint that I was mixing, I tried to match that colour up as best as I could. The green was quite dark, so we added a touch of blue and a touch of red in equal parts. They cancel each other out, they become a darker version of that colour, and then applying that to the green just makes the green darker, more rich and more punchy, I guess. So I go around all the leaves individually. I'm not taking too long at this point because I was running out of time and I really wanted to get this done, so I'm quite liberal with how I'm applying the paint. I'm not even doing the wet and wet technique here because I had so much paint which was so wet already that I knew it wasn't in any danger of drying up, so I was just applying the paint super quickly. And as those squares on the grid were drying out, I could move to the next one, apply the green on that one, and then eventually go back and add more layers, getting darker tones in there, building up the layers, moving the paint around with the wet brush, okay, and it all comes together. Obviously it looks easy when you're seeing a time lapse like this. This took me about an hour and 40 minutes or so, but it is really just about using those techniques, those watercolour techniques, letting it dry, adding another layer, letting it dry, adding another layer, it builds up, okay? You just have to be patient and really concentrate, and eventually drop your paintbrush on your page and try to style out as best as you can. Well, there's clearly a lot of paint blob there at the bottom, which I didn't want, but we managed to fix it, so it's fine, crisis averted. But yes, I did drop the paintbrush on the paper there. And yeah, just refining it, adding the layers, using the dry brush. Sometimes you can use a dry brush to actually pick up the pigment and remove it, get rid of it. So you don't always have to apply paint with the brush. You can sometimes soak up paint pigment too. So I'm at the final stages now. I'm just going around one square at a time and really looking back at that photograph. Are these tones dark enough? Is the colour strong enough? Okay, going one square at a time, just trying to match up the colour. It's never going to be an absolute, replica of a Georgia O'Keeffe, but it's a nice effort. Okay, it's a good start. It's a good way to get you into the habit of working with watercolours. So I really hope you had fun doing this, and don't be afraid to try something new.